On her way to college for an important exam, Adya paused at a Shiv mandir to seek blessings. What seemed like a brief stop turned into destiny's twist when she noticed an elderly woman, Savitri Raichan, growing faint on the temple steps. True to her kind nature, Adya rushed to help. She offered water, bought juice, and gently persuaded Savitri to break her fast for the sake of her health. Her innocence and playful faith in Mahadev brought an uncharacteristic smile to Savitri's face. Not stopping there, Adya insisted on accompanying her safely back to the Raichan mansion, unaware of who she truly was. In doing so, she risked being late for her own exam, yet fortune carried her just in time to the hall. That morning, two strangers crossed paths by chance, but fate had already begun to weave its story. A ruthless CEO, a tender-hearted girl, a destined collision about to unfold. The black Rolls-Royce halted before a towering glass building that touched the sky. Across its entrance, golden letters spelled Raichan Private Limited, bold, imposing, and impossible to overlook. From the car emerged Kabir Raichan. Employees and the receptionist immediately rose to their feet, voices uniting in, "Good morning, sir." But Kabir didn't acknowledge a single one. His stride was cold, commanding, leaving silence in his wake. At the private elevator, his PA Vikram stood ready. Without a word, he pressed the button to the top floor, the only place Kabir ever went. As the doors slid shut, Vikram began briefing him on the day ahead.
Sir, in 10 minutes you have a meeting with Mr. Surya Pratap Singh about his heritage fort. After that, an online conference with the foreign clients followed by your Forbes India interview. That completes today's schedule.
Kabir nodded silently, his sharp gaze fixed ahead as the elevator opened to an elegant corridor reserved for department heads. Each one greeted him with respect, yet he passed without a glance, striding straight into his office. Before the meeting, he pulled up the presentation on his laptop, scanning each slide with surgical precision. Nothing was out of place. A moment later, Vikram entered, setting a cup of black coffee on the desk.
Sir, Mr. Surya Pratap Singh has arrived.
Kabir acknowledged with a brief nod and walked toward the room, Vikram close behind with the documents. Inside, Surya Pratap Singh, a dignified man of 65 in a crisp white kurta, greeted him with a polite handshake. His weary eyes told the story of decline. His ancestral fort, the pride of generations, now stood on the edge of being sold after mounting financial losses. Kabir's intentions were clear, to transform the heritage property into a luxury hotel, another jewel in the crown of Raichan hotels. Already a dominant force in hospitality, his empire was spreading into textiles and automobiles. In the eyes of the world, everything Kabir touched turned to gold. The meeting unfolded with presentations exchanged, figures discussed, and future plans outlined. Though Surya Pratap listened attentively and even admired Kabir's ambitious vision, a quiet sorrow clouded his eyes. Parting with the fort, his family's legacy, was no simple matter. When his gaze lingered on the final page of the agreement, Kabir broke the silence in his usual flat tone.
"If you're satisfied with the terms, let's proceed with the signature."
Surya Pratap looked up, pain evident in his eyes. "Mr. Raichan, this isn't just a property, it's my home. Could I have some time?"
Kabir's expression remained indifferent. "To you, it's home. To me, it's business. You're receiving the price you wanted, and I'm acquiring the land. That's fair. Business has no room for emotions. You're in debt, and I've given you a solution."
The words hung heavy in the air. After a moment, Surya Pratap gave a weary smile, more sorrowful than amused. "I hope life blesses you with someone who can remind you what emotions mean, someone who can turn the machine inside you back into a human." With that, he signed the contract, stood with quiet dignity, and left the room. Kabir didn't flinch. He collected his files, his mind already shifting to the next task. Hours later, when the day finally ended close to 10 p.m., the office stood empty. Kabir walked out and returned to Raichan mansion, where the family gathered in the living room. His younger brother and sister sat close to their mother, showering her with questions.
Ma, tell us again. What exactly did that girl do?
Kabir overheard but kept heading upstairs, uninterested. Just as he reached the first step, his mother's voice called out.
Abhi, Vita, come here for a moment.
He paused, frowned, and pinched the bridge of his nose, a familiar gesture of irritation. Still, he turned and walked back, settling beside her on the sofa. Before he could speak, sister blurted out.
I do know. Ma fainted at the temple today. She almost fell down the stairs.
Kabir's composure vanished. Alarm flickered across his face. What? He immediately turned to his mother. "Are you alright? We're going to the doctor now." His gaze snapped to his siblings, sharp and accusing. "You didn't call a doctor, and you're telling me this only now." He had already picked up his phone when his mother gently placed her hand over his.
No, Vita, I'm fine. I hadn't eaten all day. Maybe that's why my BP dropped. And don't blame them. I asked them not to tell you.
Kabir's jaw tightened, his silence heavy, while his brother and sister lowered their eyes, guilty. Savitri offered a faint smile, her voice softening.
But you know, I was fortunate today. A girl helped me. Such a kind, respectful girl. She cared for me as though I were her own. In today's world, you rarely meet someone like her. She even dropped me home, despite having her own commitments. I only wish I could see her again.
Kabir remained silent, but something unsettled him. Who was this girl? Why would anyone go out of their way to help a stranger, especially my mother, without expecting anything in return? He wasn't accustomed to such selfless kindness. It left him uneasy. His mother's gentle voice interrupted his thoughts.
Go freshen up, Vita. I'll get dinner ready.
He simply nodded and walked to his room. Later, after dinner, he sat at his desk, laptop open, immersing himself in numbers, contracts, and endless emails. Yet, no matter how much work he buried himself in, one question kept pulling him back. Who was that girl? And why did the thought of someone he hadn't even met feel like a crack in his perfectly controlled life? For the first time in years, Kabir Raichan, a man untouched by emotions, felt an unfamiliar pull. A desire to know someone who was, until now, just a nameless stranger. Little did he realize, fate had already carved her place into his story. And this was only the beginning.